Well, it came to me that substituting, of course, Dad for God. Dad. Meaning, of course, our Heavenly Father, your Heavenly Dad. And I use it as a kriya. I practice it. I breathe in to the 7 points, going up the body, so to speak. Being aware of what each part of the body is, symbolically. Right up to the crown, transcendence, you see the 7. And I hold for the same 7 beats. I recite the same 7 words to myself, inwardly, not out loud. And then I say the same going down, because I wasn't clear I could master the words in reverse order with any measure of regularity. But now when I listen to the recording, I think I could practice it. And I'm encouraged to. So I'll see how I get on. And when I say I practice it, I practice it as a kriya, it's triangular breathing, you see. It's a 7, 7, 7 triangular breathing for one breath, and the next breath follows directly. There's not some... Yeah, you can pause, but I don't think I do normally. It might start to become a pause. And between one breath and the next, you'll find what works. You'll know. You'll find that which brings you peace that passes all understanding, joy, synchronicity in your life, loveliness. It's kriya. I realize this is foreign, alien even to Christian religiosity, whatever you like to call it. Yeah. And a great blessing, I found it. And you will find it too. Early on, you just do it a few times. Haltingly, probably, not terribly smoothly. Put it all together, I find it comes out at about 32 seconds for me, the whole breath, which is just about right for a kriya, just a shade over half a minute. And so if you spend an hour, at least you've done 120. You won't spend an hour to begin with, I don't suppose. You might just do 9, 10, 20 breaths. Or you might do it for 10 minutes, well, that would be 20 breaths. And I do it typically laying down in the morning. In fact, I do it one of the first things when I wake. And I may wake anything like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I just do it. And I, therefore, I'm completely relaxed, and might do it for 10 minutes, quarter of an hour. Might do it for 50 minutes to an hour. You'll know what feels. Know what's a blessing. God loves you. It's a mantra. Oh my goodness, there's another word that makes the Christian want to jump out the window. Look, it's a mantra. It's a repetition, just like when we sing in our choruses. Your presence is heaven to me. Your presence is heaven to me. When we keep repeating something, well, it suddenly takes on a reality that our minds don't grasp easily and trivially. It's like the person who says, I love you, and they probably say, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Because they do. The more they say it, the more they know. So, you need to know the blessing of mantra repetition. Modern Christian music uses repetition. The older Christian music, the great hymns, didn't. They used the deep meaning of the words. Very often, straight theology, or more recently, words straight out of the book, straight out of the Psalms and so on. But increasingly, the modern Christian song as worship has been repetition. And, of course, it brings worship. It really can. I mean, wow. And the mantra is much the same. And no need to throw it out the window because it's something associated with a wicked and alien religion from your point of view, from the Far East, or the East. God hasn't missed great swathes of his creation out, even with humanism and secularism and communism. He breathes much of the same ethical, communist brotherhood. Humanism puts care of human beings as a priority. It's in the right direction compared to most of man's history, isn't it, for goodness sake? I was a humanist, so I'd like to defend this course. But I was a socialist too. Really do think that human society doesn't go to communism straight from being rural peasants. They have to pass through industrial process and a socialism, before they can embrace communism. And the history has shown this, isn't it? Russia went from Russian peasant to members of the communist state. The result was horrendous. Absolute disaster. I don't worship Marx, but it proved him right, not wrong. Because what's really wrong with all these utopias is that we need utopian people in it, don't we? And we don't. We get people like Stalin and Hitler and goodness knows what, Oh, badness knows what, actually. and then we say, look, doesn't work. No, of course it wouldn't, would it? And really you can take the most appallingly inadequate and poor system, but angels that make up the society. The system will work wonderfully. Not because of the system, of course, but because you've got a society of angels. And the world's not made up of a society of angels. We're here because we're practicing experience of fruit of the knowledge, good and evil. And if the evil wasn't here, well, it would wreck the lesson, wouldn't it? We wouldn't know what the good was talking about. You wouldn't know what you were rejecting. My goodness, there are some experiences that will make you reject the evil forever. That's exactly the purpose of being here. So just to emphasize the point, God has not forgotten great swathes of the human race in history and the present world. On the contrary, he has met them in the culture and the circumstances in which he has them. And, well, goodness, you look within, say, the Christian faith, you've never seen so many divisions here. People that won't accept others, and bitterness, and rivalries, and exclusions, and, what do you call it, excommunications, and appalling, utterly appalling. Except it's not. It's the lessons that we're meant to be learning, and learn them we have, and do. But all this is an aside, isn't it? I am that to yourselves, even without the breathing, earnestly for a little while. My goodness, you'll come to know what it means. You will know within you what it means. Listen. Thank you, Dad. I'm not sure why, in addition to this recording, it's given such a variable outcome. I don't wish to tamper with it, to quotes put it right. Rather accept it as it is. It's a bit like when I get a scratch or a dent on the car. I don't mean a massive one, but I don't fuss over it. I think, well, why should my car be perfect? I'm not. Am I supposed to give this impression that, I'm some super being? I'll live with it. I'm reminded of the Egyptian pharaoh Akhenaten, who was the only pharaoh known to have worshipped one god, and incidentally, as I pointed out elsewhere, to build a city using bricks, not just stone. And using bricks, making bricks, of course, was part of the story of the Hebrew people. To my point here, he would refuse to have people give likenesses of him that were in any way other than the way he looked. They'd always produced pictures, or if you like, statues of the pharaoh as being, and masks and so on, perfectly symmetrical face and so on. And of course, he was anything but perfectly good-looking, this chap. Suffered from, we're pretty clear, a disease that made very long finger bones and long face and so forth. And the other interesting about this chap is that he is the first person in recorded history that we have his personal views of things, and I believe in a sense his sort of poetry. Interesting chap. But what a fine chap. He wasn't going to have edited pictures of himself or statues. He wanted it as it is. Amazing chap. Thank you, Dad.